welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is well. I'm hoping you're having a great week so far. Have you been crafting this week? What have you been making? Let me know in the comments below. For today's video, we're doing something a little different. We're going to create something called a shaker rain card, or a rain shaker card, depends how you want to pronounce it. And it uses those little seed beads that you get, you know, the tiny little glass beads. There we go. And what you do is you thread them onto your thread or wire, and it creates your little card. Make it look a bit different. I use some really old jewellery wire because I couldn't find any in my thread, but for the tutorial today I'll be using thread, so just know that you could use that. And what you do really is you're just threading some on to create the effect, and then you use some die cuts top and bottom to glue it in place to hide any of the wee bits, and it creates your little shaker bit. For this card I used some older lawn fawn bits and bobs. I used the grassy hillside border for my bottom part. I didn't have a cloud shaped die, so what I did was I drew round one, just this, but I mean you could use anything for it. This one, just in case you want to know, is the platform pop-up cloud wraparound die. For the stamps I used the Berry Rainy Day stamps and die set, and for the little happy birthday I used an older set, this one here, I think it's the Reveal a Wheel stamps. So remember, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. Maybe become a subscriber if you haven't already, or leave a comment. All feedback's very welcome, whether it's good, bad, or you just want to say hello. So let's get started. I've looked out everything I'm going to use on this card, and for a change I'm going to cut out a frame instead to have as a window on the card. So I'm going to use these 8x8 decorative circles on it, and I'm also going to use one of my large circle dies to cut the frame. I've found some gorgeous pattern papers that I've just got. This one is from this bundle, the Moonlight Magic. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. There's some gorgeous papers in it. I mean, that's so beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to use that along with a paler pink for my frame, and also I've cut out my card blank. I'm going to do an 8x8, so I'm gluing two pieces together, and I'm going to use these lovely flower and dies, add a wee difference of touch. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down my bits of paper, then I'll die cut my frames. So I'll do that because my big machine sits behind me, and then I'll be back. I've die cut my frames, so I have these so they will fit together perfectly, and also I have die cut the middle of this frame, and I'm going to slot this back in. I need to figure out which way it goes, but first of all what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink the edges just to give it a wee bit of colour. So I'm going to use my Distress Oxide Born lipstick, and I'm just going to lightly ink the edges. I've inked all the edges, and now I'm going to glue these two layers together. Bring that scrap back in. Keep me getting glue everywhere. And you want to make sure you glue right up to the edges. There we go. Now we need something to hold your frame in place, or it's just going to float about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a square of acetate, glue it to the back, and then I'm going to line up and die cut out the same circle frame, and this will give me something for this to sit on. I might actually even use vellum, so you've got a sort of pale tone shining through. So I'll go and get a piece of vellum and we'll do that. So I've die cut out the same size circle. What I'm going to do is glue my frame onto the circle. I'm going to try my best to line it up so I know I've got it the right way. and I'll glue it on here, and then I will fit it in like that. We'll do that first. There we go. And there we go. Wee bit warp just now. Once the vellum's dry, it'll flatten down a bit more. Well, you can add a wee bit of glue so it doesn't move, just on the corners now that you've got it in place. I have to trim this wee bit of went squint, so just do that at the same time. So that's the basic part of the front of my card done. You can see I've came in a wee bit, so if you want you can trim that off and tidy it up, but I'm not too bothered because you won't see it. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my thread and I'm going to get my seed beads all set up and we're going to string them together. I found these ones, a mixture of pinks and white tones. I thought they'd be perfect with this card. Maybe not use the bright ones as much. And I'm going to do that, and I'll go and get my thread and we can get started. So I've got this sort of pale lilac. I couldn't find any white or clear, so I thought, well, you're not really going to see it that much. So all I'm going to do is feed it on to a really thin needle and then just start adding on my beads. I'm not going to add any of those bright pink ones, but I'll add some of the white. And just randomly add them on. There we go. And you want to add on enough so that when you see it like that, it's only going to be just over halfway. Next, I'm going to remove the needle, and all I'm going to do is snip and keep it as a long length. Oh, back in focus, like that. And I'm going to repeat. I'm going to make 9 in total, and that's all I'm going to do. So I've got my lip strands. So I have about between 19 and 21 on each strand. You can make them all equal. What I'm going to do is on the back I'm going to mark the middle so that I can add my lines evenly. So I'll do that first. I'll try not to lose any of these beads. Next, I'm going to use some foam tape. Oh. And what I'm going to do is add a line of this across the bottom. And then at the top. and then I'll add my first string right in the middle. I'll add a wee bit of glue to just hold that in place, but I'm going to put another piece of the foam tape on top to seal it in. Oh, it came away at the bottom. And I'm just going to repeat that all the way along, evenly spacing them. I'm just pulling them really tight when I'm doing the bottom row and adding the glue on top. Wait until it cools down a bit and then just dabbing it so that it takes hold. Next, I will trim off all these wee ends. And do the top ones as well. I'm going to add a wee bit of glue just underneath this bit of the foam because it's lying on the vellum, so it's not getting a hold on the card, and I want to make sure that it stays on the card. There we are. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another length of the foam tape on top, and that will just sandwich the wee bit of string in between. I'll also add my foam tape round about the outside for popping on my card. And there we have it. Some of them are just sticking on the glue strings, so what I'm also going to do is add a wee bit of this foam just in between, just to help. This will just give it a teeny bit more support. I'm going to make up the card now, so I'm just going to stick my two layers together. And if you've never made a larger card, you just make to the size that you want. So mine is 8x8, and add on an inch and a half for your tab to glue it together to make your card blank. There you go. Now, you want to decide now if you want to leave it with the white background underneath, or you could add in your circle die cut instead, or even some more of the pattern paper. Might look quite nice. That actually looked quite nice. I think I might actually do that. Waste this circle. All I'm doing is going to glue the middles. Make sure I put it in the middle. About right anyway. Just thinking I'm going to have to glue down all the sides or the beads will get caught in it, so I'm going to quickly trim it. And try your best to get it right in the middle. There we go. And then it's just a matter of removing all your sticky back foam pad bits. There we go, you've got your basic card now. I'm going to quickly tidy up and then we can just get started on decorating. So you can see I have it all finished. I've also, if you can just make out, I added some wee fine bits of foam tape around the edge just to keep it. It seemed like it was dipping in the centre, so it just gives it that wee bit more support. I've also stamped out my flower from the Spring Garden stamp set. And I'm just going to do some quick colouring, so I brought you in a wee bit, and these are the colours I'm going to use: RV34, R83, R81 and RV00. And for the green it is G09, YG09, YG7 and YG3. So I'll just do a wee bit of quick colouring and then we can move on to the next part. Off camera, I've fussy cut the flower, but I realised that when I looked at the back of the packaging, you can see here, it's a leaf, and I've made it petal. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll put it off on the little one. I'm going to add that on as well, so I've got 3 flowers. You might have noticed that my YG7 didn't work, so I added YG6 instead, just in case you're wondering, and I touched up with some Y38 round about the centres, and on the stems I've added YG95. Tried to use another one, YG93, and it's ran out as well. Anyway, so now that I've got them cut out, I'm going to add these onto my card. I'm going to have them just on my edge, I think. Might even snip them so I can bring them a little bit like so, and then have that one in the middle, and then I'm going to die cut a sentiment. So I'll just get my sentiment ready and then we can start decorating the card. I've die cut my sentiment I'm going to use. I used one of my new dies and stamp sets I got from Waffle Flower. It is the oversized suite with the matching die, and I've die cut it and stamped out birthday wishes. I can't decide whether I'm going to use the black or the white, but I'm going to add on my flowers first, and I'm going to make sure that if they are over the top of this, that my foam pads only sit in the spaces. So I'll just start decorating. The only other thing I've done is ink the edge of the pink layer, and I've got some of these little iridescent, I think they're actually for nails, but I thought they would be quite good to match in with the petals. So I'll just start adding my bits on. And that's the card all finished, you can see. I went with the black, I thought it stood out a wee bit more, and I just realised that the birthday's on just a teeny bit squint. Hold it like that, you'll not notice. And I've added some of those little pearls. I'm sure they're nail gems of some kind, I don't know. Found them in my stash, so you can see the card. I'll detail it. Just looks, just something different from your normal shakers. Great for maybe even a wedding card, it would look lovely, similar design. But if I bring the other one in, you can see that it's great also for using with your little stamps, especially if you've got water themed, rain themed ones. It's perfect. You can see it as yellow beads for mermaids, as if they were underwater and that was the sunshine coming through. Just an idea. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel, and if you've not already, please subscribe. I know I go on and on about it, but it does help your channel. And remember, if there's anything you really fancy seeing me do, just let me know, put a comment below, and I'll try doing that for you. But take care, and until next time, bye!